Could you imagine just being a woman competing for an event you thought you were the best in, only to find out you're actually competing against a transgender woman? That is about as equivalent to getting hit in the gut. I do believe that transgender women should not be able to compete in women's sports. I further this claim by stating that it would be as if you're putting a non disabled person in a disabled league. This would give them an advantage and an upper hand. With the information I have gathered from articles such as transgender testing in sports, how does hormone transition in transgender women change body composition, muscle strength, and hemoglobin, systemic review? Would they focus on the implications for sport participation? What has sex got to do with it? The role of hormones in the transgender brain, athletes, feminizing hormone therapy, Mayo Clinic, and transgender equality, which helps further my opinion of not allowing transgender women competing in women's sports. In this, in this, oh God, in this speech, I will go over three main components, one being hormone therapy, two would be physical differences and unfair advantages, further backing that claim that transgender women should not be able to compete in women's sports. First, I would like to talk about hormone therapy and how it plays a negative role in transgender athletes. According to the article, Feminizing Hormone Therapy by the Mayo Clinic, once a transgender woman is going through hormone therapy, they are leading themselves to psychological and emotional distress, but can cause other serious problems in the long run. According to How Does Hormone Transition in Transgender Women Change Body Composition, Muscle Strength, and Hemoglobin Systemic Review, what they focus on the implications for the sport participation, has stated that going through hormone therapy can cause a loss of muscle in those. In an article titled Feminizing Hormone Therapy, Mayo Clinic has seen high side effects such as high cholesterol, high triglycerides, risk at stroke, and even breast cancer, to name a few. In the same article, they also state that transgender women and women competing wise, their performance is ruled inconclusive. Next, I would like to discuss physical differences. In an article from Issues and Controversies Data Bank article titled Transgender Athletes, Should Transgender Women Be Allowed to Compete in Women's Sports, states that some believe men are born with the advantages compared to women. An example would be they have bigger lungs, denser bones, and their height. Not all women are born 6+ feet tall. Hormone therapy has an advantage for those compared to cis women. In case nobody knows, cis women is a woman who is born a woman and identifies as a woman. In an article titled Gender Testing in Sports, gender testing is a must, only because there are intersex disorders that show an increased levels of testosterone, but this is also proven to be controversial as well. Lastly, I would like to discuss how allowing transgender women to compete in women's sports is an unfair advantage to cis women. In an article titled Transgender Athletes, they acknowledge that transgender people have rights, but some feel that competing against cis women is unfair due to their advantages, like I previously mentioned, their denser bones, having larger lungs to intake more air compared to women, and so on and so forth. According to previously mentioned article from the Issues and Controversies, currently there are some high schools that do allow transgender girls to compete in girls' sports. Many state that this is an unfair advantage because it gives transgender girls the upper hand. Parents and others have argued that this does not give their cis daughters a fair advantage to scholarships. An example I could think of off the top of my head would be the UPenn swimmer that is currently trending in the news. She was born a male and competed as a male for 2 seasons in the swimming series and was unable to defeat men record times. However, she decided to transition into becoming a female and is now breaking records that have been set in stone for 40+ years, which has caused an uproar with some of her teammates. In conclusion, with the information I have presented, focusing on hormone therapy, physical differences, and an unfair advantage to their bodies compared to women. I hope I have persuaded you to think the same as me and understand that my point of view may be different. However, I do further believe that transgender women should not be allowed to compete with women in sports. Thank you.